everyone. I hope all is well. It is definitely time for a video. So much to say, so little time to say it. I'll have to touch bases on some things later because I was asked not to put my personal business on here. So as far as my relationship goes, that's on pause. I can't discuss that because I was asked not to. But I just want to talk about being tested, keeping your faith strong, praising God when everything is going wrong, or it seems like everything is going wrong because you really don't know what He's doing in the background. And I'm preaching this to myself right now more than anyone. You know, I had been in a dark space, as y'all all know. I was coming out of it, and so it comes and goes because I suffer from anxiety and depression. But for the most part, I've been trying to push through, and the more I push through, it just seems like obstacles continue to come up in my life. So I just had a mental breakdown, cry out to God, asking Him to please help me to ease some of this pain and this tension that I'm going through. And so I ask, how many people stop and really give it to God, or how many of us say we're giving it to Him but we keep our hands on it and we don't trust Him to do it? That is the question that I want to ask because it's important. Like, I'll talk to God and say these things and I'll do good for a long period of time. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. But when I start to slip, instead of catching myself as soon as I'm slipping, I allow myself to go backwards. I have not stumbled as far as I have lately, but I have stumbled and I didn't try to pick myself up. So then when more obstacles come along, oh God, I don't understand. Just why? Yes, you do. You're going to go through obstacles in life, period. Listen, Stacy, self, there is no one person who is better than Jesus that did not go through obstacles. It's how you transition that helps. It's how you wither through your storm for how long your storm is. I have not been doing well withering through any of my storms. I start off running, and in the end, I'm no good. Did you hear what I said? I start off running. You cannot run. You have to crawl. And as you're crawling, you have to learn how to walk. And as you're walking, then you can begin to run. But the most important thing to remember is this is all a process. You can't speed up not one process in your life because you are not God. And if you're not learning your lessons, He's going to continue to put things in your way, give you obstacles or storms, give you trials and tribulations because you're not passing your test. Now, mind you, you're going to always have those trials and tribulations, but they'll be easier. You'll be more able to endure as you're growing your relationship closer to God. And we all lose our way. So please don't ever feel like one person is so grounded that they don't lose their way, because we all fall short of the sins of the world daily. And it's our job to forgive and forget and move on. Oh, you can't forget. You can if you ask God to take it away from you. You may not forget within that moment, but eventually you won't even remember what was so important that you were angry at, or you were upset, or you didn't get blessed about, because guess what? You now know how to go through your obstacles and your storms. Being in the midst of my storm, I just have to continue to cry out to God for guidance, for wisdom, for knowledge, for understanding, but yet alone for forgiveness. You want to forgive people, or you want to say people did this, that, and the third to you, but how fast are you to forgive people? Because the same way you want people to forgive you, or you to forgive people, God wants to forgive you just as fast. But we don't know how to really forgive people as fast as God forgive us. We want to hold on to this grudge and be mad and be bitter and not understand. And like I was reminded, it's not of your understanding, it's of God's understanding. If He truly wanted you to understand in the midst of the storm, you wouldn't go through the storm. But once you wither out of the storm, once you lean towards Him, guess what? Then He gives you the knowledge and the wisdom to understand. I was one that I would never speak really fast, but lately I've always got something to say. I always speak before I think. And that was never me. And so I am put in a place right now where God told me, peace, be still. Stop. You do too much. You're doing too much. And I can only respect that. Like, I can't change anything. I can't be mad at people. I can only pray for everyone. Excuse me, guys. I can only pray for everyone. I can only pray for myself. I can ask God for guidance for myself. I have to ask God for forgiveness for myself. It's amazing to me how we all go through trials and tribulations, but we can't forgive people. But again, God, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Please help me change this. And that was just me a few minutes ago, like crying out like, God, please, 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 I'm so sorry. And I feel like He heard my prayer. But the bottom line is, how many people that I quickly forgive? How many people am I holding a grudge on? How many people have I truly heard them out and listened to them and thought about their feelings just as well as my own? And I'm the first one to say, everyone's feelings matter. Everyone's feelings matter. And guess what? That's like not practicing what you preach. What is that you tell your children? Do as I say, not as I do. Like, that's not being a great role model anyway. But that's one of the ways that we were taught as kids, is to do what we were told to do and not what we seen done. And that's just not realistic, period, for no one. So if you want to be a great example, you have to lead by example. And one of the things that I lead terribly by is I'll hold a grudge. I can hold a grudge for the rest of my life if God would allow me to, and be just okay. But guess what? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. That's not how He wants it. So what we fail to realize is, once someone wrongs us, it's our job to forgive them. And once we don't forgive them, it is now a sin on our end, because you didn't forgive the person. Now, does that mean that you have to go back and be best friends, or back to your relationship the way it was? No, that's not what that means. What it means truthfully is you take it one day at a time and you forgive so that God can forgive you, and you continue to move forward. You continue to seek Him and pray and ask for guidance, You can't lean into your own understanding, because that's not what He asked of us. And so every time that we lean into our own understanding, we make a mess of things. And I'm learning that very well. And when you forgive someone, that's just what you did. You forgave them. You can't throw anything else up in their face. You can't feel any type of way. Just let it go. I know that I want to know this. I want to know that. I want to understand this. I want to understand that. Listen, sometimes it's not for you to know. It's just for you to get back in tune where you're supposed to be with God. You go through these tests, and you got to remember, people are of flesh. And so God puts people in your life to teach you storms and lessons. And whether it's how you wither through the storm and the lesson, and you have to remember, it's not the person, it's the message that's being delivered. That's the most important key. It's not the person, it's the message that's being delivered. So what message did you miss? I've missed a bunch of messages throughout the years. I've been so mad at everybody and pointing this finger and not understanding this and not understanding that. Well, guess what? That was your own fault, darling, because you didn't turn to God. I mean, you did. I truly did. But I didn't turn to God, put it in His hands, and let go. So when you give something to God, you let go and you let God. You let go and you let God. Period. And if you're not doing that, then you are not truly forgiving people, for one. You are not truly wanting God to forgive you, for two. Because how do you expect for Him to forgive you if you do not forgive the next person? And again, it doesn't mean that you are going to be hunky-dory and you're going to have this great big relationship. And it's all in what you make it. But remember, guys, we cannot hold grudges and expect for God to forgive us when we are holding on to what someone else did to us. That's just my thought and my belief. Some people may believe totally different, but within my life, this is what I truly believe, and I've always been that way. So remember this, guys. I love you all. It's been a long time coming. I really truly needed another video. I would love to hear your comments. Please like, share, subscribe if you're feeling this video. Even if you're not, please give me feedback so that we could talk about it. Maybe you can help me grow in a different way. Maybe I can help inspire you. It just, you just never know. And so that's what I wanted to lay in everyone's heart today. I love you all. Stay blessed.